All right, so getting into chapter 4, best practices for obtaining inventory and dealer auctions. Now, we kind of talked about what it looks like in earlier lessons about securing inventory, walking cars, doing all the fundamental things that are going to be necessary. And the best place to buy cars is absolutely from the general public. Okay. But auctions are absolutely a necessity for what we do as far as trying to obtain inventory as dealers. Now, some of the important things to keep in mind is with dealer auctions. Do you guys know how dealer auctions work as far as how dealer auctions get their inventory?
Only vaguely.
Not fully aware.
So the way it works as far as any of your franchise stores, our franchise stores that we have locally in our area, so Toyota, wherever, the used car manager, when they take that inventory in, do you guys know that they have to use the same shop rate as you would if you went to the local Toyota store?
No, I didn't.
So it could be anywhere from $120 to $180 an hour, and sometimes more. And the used car manager is literally the best customer of the service department because they have to run anything that could possibly be wrong with the car in order to get the vehicle to the front line. So with any kind of inventory they take in on trade, they have to take into that consideration of what's going to be more profitable. Am I going to run it through my shop, pay the money, and be able to turn it into potential profit on the retail front? Or could I send it to a dealer auction, wholesale it, and potentially get more money as a direct result of that? And that's where that fosters a lot of the inventory, because anytime you can create a lot of inventory at an auction, you also need the buyer element as well. And we kind of vaguely talked about that with our initial lesson of, what are the buyer fees? What does the arbitration look like? What does our condition reports look like? And that's why many dealerships will go to various auctions to try to secure inventory. Are either one of you interested in salvage vehicles at all?
Not particularly.
No.
No. And it's probably for the best. But there is money to be made as far as salvage is concerned. A lot of them end up being export pieces, but for obvious reasons, we have to disclose that there was salvage damage if we're trying to retail it. On the wholesale front, it's obviously a little bit more open-ended. So important things to kind of keep in mind. There are dealer-only auctions, even online auctions. I've kind of listed some pros and cons as far as what it looks like to engage with auctions. We had talked about ACV, but there are other auctions out there. Mannheim, Odessa. There are so many options available for dealers. It's more along the lines of, do you really want to take the time to learn some of the additional things and go through the motions of, each one has their own special set of rules, how the games are played, and then also, in the event that there's problems. But I've listed some of those out for you. Mannheim and Odessa being some of the larger physical auctions that are out there, although Odessa is now, for all intents and purposes, open lane. So it does change as far as our industry is concerned. Copart and IAA are two insurance auctions. So when your vehicle gets totaled and the insurance company basically writes it off, that's where your cars go. They go to auctions like IAA or Copart to be sold off essentially to the highest bidder. And then we talked about ACV auctions, and also Smart Auction is in there as well. But again, it just depends on what you're looking for. And also, cost is really important. You can have a great selection of vehicles, but if the buy fees are astronomical, sometimes it's just easier for you to try to buy off the street. Now, the difference with buying off the street, you have to kind of know what you're doing. You have to be able to plug in a code reader, walk a car, be able to book out a car, so that way you can get that proper evaluation and make sure that you're not throwing good money after bad. Now, some of the physical auctions, and I mean, this was years ago when I used to be able to go to physical auctions, but there is that kind of social element. You get to hang out with your friends and eat bad burritos or, whatever food offering they have for the week. You get to talk about how bad the industry is right now. Not many people are talking about how they're killing it. It's usually, oh, I can't believe I had to do this. Or, you hear about the fish stories as well. I swear I made 10 grand off this one deal, and it can be fun. The difference being in that kind of environment, if you didn't do your homework the night before or didn't go and do the pre-inspection of the vehicle, you have vehicles running through the lane every 30 seconds and a guy that talks faster than I can even tell you. Live auctions are a lot of fun, but you can also get caught in a situation that it's going to end up costing you money in the long run because you got excited because there's somebody across from you. You're up bidding. Yeah, I'm the highest bidder and I overpaid by a lot of money. So, and also, did you take the time to physically look at the car prior? Because 30 seconds, that's not enough time to look at a car. You need to be able to spend the time really as deep dive as you can with that vehicle to figure out if there's going to be problems in the long run. And then some of the other various auctions that we talk about, the biggest connecting piece, and I'm going to go ahead and share that on the screen here. Auction Access is a tool that basically connects you with any and all physical auctions. And the reason why they do it is because it has your licensing information, your insurance information, your floor plan information that they can pull all from one data source and basically for essentially do a virtual handshake, if you will. So that way, instead of having to refill out an application every time you want to go to a different auction, it just allows you to have that kind of versatility. Downside is you have to pay $103 a year, but as they say, it's kind of the cost of doing business. So Auction Access will give you that 5 million number, allow you to go into any of those various physical auctions. There are a few auctions that aren't connected with Auction Access, ACV being one of them. So there are still some individual auctions you will have to register for manually, but Auction Access knocks out a lot of that process. So that way you can get registered and basically get on with your day. So any questions on Auction Access?
No.
And we've got a couple of videos also available throughout the course of the lesson that you'll be able to see in other various chapters as far as how to properly inspect the vehicle, how to book out the car like we were talking with that virtual auction experience that we did, and then that digital auction interaction. That's all a part of a separate lesson plan that you can definitely check out. So if there are no questions, we're going to move right into all the forms that are required in order to retail a car. So this one's a kind of a longer lesson. So we'll be right back with that.